had a friend this genuine from this place of pretend, rising to transcend the sublime sparks, speak straight to the heart, hearing only holy remarks on the journey embarked. Two lanes, the same, twin flames, maintained, flags chained, this campaign, running through blood and veins. No working to believe in tomorrow. Left the old war behind without its pain and sorrows. Legacy, bow and arrows, shot toward the inner sky, using feathers of a sparrow. Two lanes, sacred refrain, echoing again and again, reverberating chorus, as truth expands and flourishes. Never had a friend this genuine from this place of pretend, rising to transcend the soulful spark, speak straight to the heart, hearing only holy remarks on the journey embarked. Two lanes, the same, twin flames, maintained, flags chained, this campaign is running through blood and veins. Never again to believe in tomorrow. Left the old world behind, all its pain and sorrow. Legacy, bow and arrow, shot toward the inner sky, using feathers of a sparrow. Two lanes, sacred refrain, echoing again and again, reverberating chorus, as truth expands and flourishes. Never had a friend who brings deliverance as this journey amends, rising to ascend. One, awakened consciousness, the Immaculate Reception. Immaculate is the Latin word which means free from stain or spotless. Reception is the word that comes from Latin receptio, meaning a receiving, welcome, or taken in. Lost is the meaning to the purpose of celebrating the virgin birth, which is the purity of awakened consciousness. Awakened's meaning is to arise, spring into being, to wake, be watchful, originate. The ultimate source meaning is to be strong, be lively. Holistically, awakening is synonymous with rebirth or revitalization. Moving from spiritual sleep, which is death, to the beauty of Christ's material consciousness, characterized by renewed awareness of soul, the omnipresence. Awakening is not about beliefs, but a deep transformative encounter through direct experience, termed INNOCENCE. So is the omnipresence within Christ's material consciousness, the abode. Abode, archaic meaning or original, means the action of waiting for the return. Also to remain, to dwell. Bade is a Proto-Indo-European word which means to trust, confide, persuade, and forms all or part of the words abide and abode. Also the source of Greek pistis, which means faith, confidence, honesty. Today, abode means the place where one lives or home. But in context of its etymology, abode signifies awaiting the return, the truth presence within individual materialism consciousness, the reflection, contemplation of Christ material consciousness. The word one comes from Indo-European or Pi word Pionis, the earliest reconstructed form for one and unique. In Old English, "an" is the immediate ancestor of the modern word one, and one has the initial W sound. Conceptualizing truth using language proves insufficient, yet due to the fallen state, it must be used in effort to make known the unknown. The unknown is how did one, the immaculate or subconscious, fall? One is aware the effect is the zodiac or mind, but what was the cause of forgetfulness? And how was this void, which is an imitation of infinity, begun? Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 through 2 begins with the creator, the demiurge, a byproduct of the subconscious. Then creation, which is nature or mental projection. But what took place to allow the division into the 7 frequencies or hierarchies termed atmospheric layers or the light spectrum? CG, the sacred silence, operates through Christ's material consciousness, actualizing soul the only presence. CG, which is infinitely pure and holy, and so far beyond, is unable to be tainted. CG is not the void, she is the pleroma, the fullness. Access through her, which is access through her womb chakra portal, which is subtle. Her purity is so sublime and serene as to be devastating and annihilating to contamination or defilement. Christ's material consciousness abode within CG's realm of Christ's material consciousness within represents transparency and clarity of CG's realm, and so the only presence is within the pleroma or room and is absolutely pristine. So again, how did one, as a reflection contemplation of this purity, cease to maintain truth? What could have distracted one's alertness and wakefulness? What caused the opposite? Inattentiveness and lethargy. Could it be what? A unit of false light? What is a similar homonym to the word what? What is a system of the what age, dynamism, or mental energy? Is this the clue the characters Morris Day and Jerome Benton gave in the movie Purple Rain? One somehow became oblivious or unconcerned about her standard of purity. This led to one becoming unconscious, the lack of conscious awareness to truth, the real light. One became clueless, missing the details of loss of purity, and became inattentive to maintaining constant vigilance within pristine consciousness. One's state began to lose intelligence, but one kept not paying attention or didn't notice how flawed perspective was becoming. This led to a failure to perceive the danger. One was about to fall asleep. Now one is unconscious. What brought on this complacency? One is so beloved. Could it be one took her purity for granted? The question is the answer. The fall was an act of irresponsibility to preserve the consciousness standard of inner beauty, Christ's material consciousness. Was what? The false light, a unit of illusory power, the cause of the fall? The fall is the source.
Starting a business is never easy, but with GoDaddy Arrow, that endeavor is about to.
The fall is the source of the atmospheric levels, i.e. the so-called light spectrum, or this false system or panorama. The lowest level gives the void, darkness, and blackness, from which the other levels disperse as light. Spectrum comes from Latin and means appearance, image, or apparition, from the verb specere, which means to look at or view. Have one seen something? Otherness could only be self-deceit. Soul is the sublime spark, the only presence, and one is the air, H-E-I-R, that is needed as the initiate of the flame or truth. The term spectrum applied to the range of colors when white light is passed through a prism, a filter, or brain, then later expanded to encompass the entire range of electromagnetic radiation wavelengths, each operating as gatekeepers. Therefore, the term light spectrum is the etymological combination of these concepts, the specific appearance or range of colors produced by optics as illusion or apparition. White light comes from anything that produces all the visible frequencies of light, such as the sun, stars, fluorescent lights, or LEDs. So that means therefore white light is not original. The false light is a composite of all colors of the rainbow, which the brain interprets as white when all the colors are mixed together. The physical eyes contain different cells called cones, which are sensitive to the different wavelengths of light, RBG, the red, blue, green. When all the colors of the rainbow's signals reach the brain, they combine to form the perception of white light. Yet how or where did it begin? Did giving this light attention originate the delusion? Black light or long-wave ultraviolet light is also primarily produced outside the visible color range, which means usually invisible ultraviolet light, and is internally conceived as purity or gnosis. And this is how a cyclic nature of light evolved, because black light's primary purpose is to emit as invisible ultraviolet or internally, and because the red cone receptor cells have a secondary sensitivity peak, externalized as a mental trick of red and blue light, while the brain is trying to make sense of the apparition. There's even a name for it, non-spectral color. But what facilitated all this? The world or demiurge and the ego or Saturn teaches it is the moon or the subconscious, the satellite or artificial body that is the deceptive light to the conscious. But in reality, it is the sun, the white light of illusion. That is the white light that only appears to be yellow upon interaction with locality. In this instance, the earth. White is a human perception, unreality, not a type of light. So long before physicality, chemically, white light is produced when a substance, often in a plasma excited state, releases photons across the entire visible spectrum. And this combination allows all these frequencies be perceived as white by the eyes. The third eye, wisdom, eliminates false light. Before the fall of man, there was a fall from wisdom, individual materialism consciousness. This introduced duality between the purity of one, the awakened consciousness, and we, the world ego, the sleep state or unconscious. Then the entry of sin, which meant one missed the mark, transitioning from a state of perfection, wholeness, to duality or imperfection, separation or otherness, viewed as the interruption of an inherited immaculacy and innocence. The awakened consciousness must be the beginning to the restoration from being mixed with extraneous substances that tainted purity. Once again, truth is characterized with unbounded hunger for the ideal. The journey continues until awakened consciousness returns to integrity, or within the individual materialism consciousness, Atmos and Baba, through discovery of no self and the eventual denying against a collective illusory society. Purity is then regained. Emptiness. Truth is the reflection of soul, the only. Truth must mirror this as awakened consciousness, the immaculate state that is of paramount importance. The world ego, the collective, tries to erase the inherent value of emptiness. Even the film, the matrix, misleads, but when properly understood, signifies the love of Trinity, the three as one, wholeness, CG, her Christ material consciousness, the abode of soul, the omnipresent, holiness. This gives truth. This gives one inherent value, an immaculate state to call home. Overcoming the struggle to resurrect individual materialism consciousness ends duality without a doubt and restores awakened consciousness, immaculate reception. The immaculate reception. Holiday cheer. Holy day cheer.